Or on NBC5. This is the Sun America NBC Sports Desk. Here's Hannah Storm.
Welcome back to Salt Lake City, site for tomorrow night's Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Coming up, the women's final of the French Open. 16-year-old Martina Hingis is looking for her second consecutive Grand Slam title. And today she faces 19-year-old Eva Majoli of Croatia. We'll send you to Paris in just a few minutes. Last night, the Utah Jazz beat the Chicago Bulls to keep their championship hopes alive. A short time ago, the Jazz wrapped up a quick practice, and I'm joined now by guard Jeff Hornacek. I know your son Ryan is a big Michael Jordan fan. Was he disappointed about the defensive switch last night that you didn't guard Michael?
Not at all. He was just happy we won the game. You know, he's got the Jordan uniform, and the little one Tyler, you know, thinks he's Michael Jordan up in upstairs basketball hoop that we have. So those guys love Michael Jordan, but they love it more when we win.
You were guarding Scottie Pippen last night. He didn't have any of his points inside. They were all three-pointers. Was that something that you were doing defensively, or did you think his foot was bothering him and he wasn't driving, or what was happening?
Well, I think part of the reason was I was roaming a little bit, and it opened him up for the three-point shots. And then when he did go in the post, I think he went down maybe 5 or 6 times, and our guys did a great job, knowing the height disadvantage that there is in that matchup, that they came in and doubled him right away, and he really couldn't make the move with 2 guys on us.
What's the mindset of your team right now? The complexion of the series has totally changed.
Well, I think it's the same attitude we had coming home. You know, the Bulls are a great team at home, and they've only lost 2 home games, I think, all season. We've only lost 3 games here, so we anticipate that the teams are going to win their home games. And, you know, the pressure's on us now to win our home games, and we still have to win one in Chicago. So the mindset is we're still in this series, but, you know, we have to take the next game as a do-or-die situation. We have to win it.
Okay, good luck tomorrow night, Jeff.
Thanks, Ann.
Game 4 of the NBA Finals is tomorrow night here on NBC. Showtime is set for 7 o'clock Eastern with a tip-off at 7:45. Last summer, Michael Johnson was in the world spotlight, becoming the first man to win the 200 and 400 meters in the Olympics. Last weekend, Johnson was back in the track and field headlines, racing 100-meter Olympic champion Donovan Bailey for the title of world's fastest man at 150 meters. Johnson pulled up with an injury to his left quadriceps. After the race, Bailey questioned the legitimacy of Johnson's injury.
As far as the race is concerned, again, I don't think Michael felt that he was going to get beat. He knew he was going to get hammered after the first 30 meters. So I mean, he had to pull out.
Anyone who saw the race knows, you know, that I'm injured, and anyone who knows me knows that, you know, I go out there to win races, and that's my job, and that's what I do, and that's all I'll say about it. I'm not going to get into anything that you know, causes me to start to lose my integrity and my discipline and the kind of person that I am. I'm not gonna go down there.
If he didn't pull up, he's just a coward.
People want to see you know, competitors, you know, go at each other, you know, but there's a line that you can't cross, and I think that, you know, because Donovan hasn't been in this sport as long as I have, he hasn't learned that yet. A little animosity between competitors is okay with them, and they like to actually see that, but you know, there's a line that they don't want you to cross and that you just can't cross, and I think that's what happened.
Michael Johnson's injury will sideline him for next week's national championships. And unless there is a USA track and field policy change, the King of Atlanta will not be eligible to compete in August World Championships in Athens.
I probably won't even be able to start training on the leg until the week after the championships. So I won't be running the championships. So you know, it's disappointing. But then again, you know, over the past years, I've been lucky enough to not have missed any. So you know, you got to miss somewhere. So.
Now, here's the scenario. Unlike USA Gymnastics, which has a flexible policy in regard to injured athletes qualifying for international events, USA Track and Field makes no exceptions. The current system sends the top 3 qualifiers at the Nationals to compete in the World Championships. Like Michael Johnson, Dan O'Brien, the Olympic gold medalist in the decathlon, will also miss the Nationals with an injury. So that leaves USA Track and Field with quite a dilemma. Is it in the best interest of the sport to keep its top stars out of track's premier event this year because of injuries? The World Track and Field Championships are in Athens, Greece from August 2nd through 11th, and NBC will bring you the coverage. That's all from the sports desk. Time now to send you to Dick Enberg and the NBC tennis team in Paris.
This has been the Sun America NBC Sports Desk. Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Its lineage is royal, a pedigree pure. Each era with its own steward, caretakers to carry this major title to be won for the tennis ages. Billie Jean King, Chris Evert, Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf, Monica Seles. No lens is so sharp as to reveal the next in line, and then suddenly she develops. 16 years old, a tornado mix of teenage smiles and adult ground strokes. The Swiss phenom, Martina Hingis. All point to her as heir apparent, the one to accept the legacy, daring to be great. Already the youngest ever to be #1 in the world. Is she the next player for the ages? For Martina Hingis, her place in history continues today in the Ladies' Championship of the French Open. From Paris, the women's finals of the 1997 French Open, presented by Perrier. Just to the west of Paris, Stade Roland-Garros, where it's a day of roses to celebrate the 100th Women's French Championship. So grab a program.
Le magazine Roland-Garros, le programme de la journée, le fameux Perrier, et le film de Roland-Garros, tout ça pour la bonne.
We've got your seat for Court Central to see if Martina Hingis can continue her unbeaten 1997 with another Grand Slam title. And what a day in Paris. Over 16,000 filing into Court Central to see the #1 player in the world, Martina Hingis, challenged by the #9 seed, Eva Majoli. Bonjour, everyone. Dick Enberg along with the all-time champion of France 7 times. She's held the trophy here for this Grand Slam title, Chris Evert. And everyone here eager to see the young Swiss Miss, Martina Hingis. Can she win her second Grand Slam of this 1997, already winning the Australian? And what credentials? This is someone you call up and ask if she'll babysit for you. And no, she says, I'm busy. I'm #1 player in the world. I've won $1 million sooner than anyone. I've got a Grand Slam singles title, the youngest this century, and she's the youngest to win any Grand Slam title with her doubles win at Wimbledon last year. What is next?
Well, she's so impressive, but I think let's take a look at some of her assets. I think balance is the #1. I mean, watch the way she hits the ball. Her upper body is completely still, completely erect. She gets all her power from her legs. Keeps her eye on the ball. Potent two-handed backhand. Well, when you least expect it, serve and volley. She's unpredictable. She's versatile, and she's showing her variety here. Serve and volley on red clay. Look at her power. That's a quick wrist snap on the overhead. But if she does have a weakness, it's the powder puff second serve. And here, Monica Seles just nailed this serve for a winner, and that's what Eva must do in this match.
Well, Majoli's going for her place in history as well. No Croatian has ever won a Grand Slam title, and as a #9 seed, she is indeed a long shot. No one that distant from #1 has been able to win a Grand Slam in the open era, and you can see she's 3-1 wins over losses, and she's solid on clay.
Well, she's so excited to be in the final, but she has to come out here, you know, really hitting with the big guns, and that, the forehand, the backhand. She loves to run around that backhand and hit inside-out forehands. That's really her big weapon.
There's a case in point, and she'll have to use that often today.
And good defensive player. I mean, she runs down every ball, very much like Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. She's very feisty, never gives up. Here she's getting really moved from side to side, but very good defensive player.
But it's interesting, you feel that the 16-year-old has stronger nerve and greater confidence and will than the 19-year-old.
Well, I think Eva will be overawed with the occasion, being in her first Grand Slam final. Martina, this is becoming routine for her.
Well, more on Martina Hingis. We saw her arrive here at Court Central about an hour and a half ago with her mother, Melanie, ever-present mother. They have a very good relationship. She just kind of got a feel of the scenery and a little warm-up prior to her championship match today. Well, with Bud Collins on board, he indeed can take the unique look at this woman and her relationship with tennis and her mother.
This knockout kid is right up Muhammad Ali's alley. A child prodigy as he was. She's the tot with SWAT. The Heidi of the half volley. Her game really began to develop in her new home, Switzerland. Walking and swinging a racket came about almost simultaneously.
I was so little, the racket was bigger than I was. And with 3, I remember that we were playing over the net already, and I could hit the ball like 15 times over the net, and that was pretty good for a girl at my age. And with 4, I had my first tournament, but I always spent the most of the time on the court with my mother.
Mother and daughter, coach and pupil. They strung along together through the difficult days in communist Czechoslovakia and into the freedom of Switzerland with one goal in mind, to be #1 in the world.
She's been also like a professional tennis player in Czech Republic only because she couldn't get out of the country, and so as soon I was born, so she stopped her own career and started to play with me.
This parent-child relationship is unique because the two of them are best friends as well. In Melbourne in January, when Martina won her first major title, the celebration began with Mom making a splash as well. Oof!
I was running to kiss her, just go there and give her a big hug, and she just grabbed my foot, and everyone was talking about it, but I don't think that was that high.
Well, it scared me, I'll tell you that. I thought, poor Melanie is going to break a leg, please.
Oh, you can't get my mom under just so easily. I hope as long as I'm going to play tennis,
you do.
She's always going to be with me there, and she's always been there for me, so I don't think I should play without her.
You can't hold down these two. The #1 singles player in the world and her mom are right now the best doubles team in the game.
And here they come. The finalists take the court. Big moment for each. Eva Majoli, the underdog, the favorite #1, Martina Hingis, in this 100th anniversary, each trying to write their name in the history of this great Grand Slam event.
The 1997 French Open is brought to you by Perrier, the Earth's first soft drink. Nothing else feels so Perrier. By Sun America, the retirement specialist. By Porsche, who wish to remind you there is no substitute. And by Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Welcome back to the terre battue of Roland Garros. Hingis and Majoli begin their warm-up. Chance for us to introduce each and their record. Hingis, from the east of Switzerland now. Trubak, born in Czechoslovakia, as most all of you know, named after the famed Czech player Martina Navratilova. And like Navratilova, her mother escaped that country to find her tennis life elsewhere. She is very rich as a 16-year-old and far and away leads all of the women on that list this year. And here's how she got to the final.
An easy first round. That second round was a pivotal one. I mean, look, she was down 6-3, point for 5-3. Just Pete Zucchini had a chance, double faulted. Third round, Kornikova, Paula, 6-love. She lost in the second set. Many thought she tanked that second set. Sanchez Vicario, she defeated. That was the best match she played the whole tournament. And then Monica Seles, what a cliffhanger that was.
So Hingis has had some rough spots on her way to the final, showing that she is indeed human, although unbeaten for the year. Eva Majoli, 3 years older, trying to become the first Croat to win a Grand Slam event. She's taller and older and ranked 9th, and that would be a long shot to win this championship. No number 9 or higher has ever won that.
Well, she's also had a very tough time. 4 3-set matches. That third round, American Annie Grossman, that started it out. Lindsay Davenport, the American player, again, was up 7-5, 4-love, and she just let it go. Dragomir in the quarterfinals, and, of course, Speedy Gonzalez, Amanda Kutzer, a really tough match, 3-set match in the semi.
Head-to-head, they've met 3 times previously, and interestingly, here this year, indoors in Paris, where Hingis defeated Majoli rather easily, 6-1, 6-3. Well, the emphasis on youth in Paris as we call on Bud Collins.
Bonjour, mes amis. The most popular French entertainer of all time was Maurice Chevalier. Do you remember in Gigi him singing, "Thank heavens for little girls"? Well, he would love this final. This is as young as it gets. And with Martina Hingis, Sweet 16, she joined some of the great 16-year-olds of the past, like Maureen Connolly winning the U.S. in 1951, Tracy Austin winning the U.S. in 1979, Monica Seles winning this title at 16 7 years ago, and how about Chris Evert, that sensational run to the U.S. Open semifinal in 1971. So, like Chevalier, I say, Dick, thank heavens for these little girls.
All right, Bud. And though Hingis will be 16 years plus, she won't be the youngest French champion if she wins. Seles will hold that honor at 16 and a half. And we'll be back for this women's final, the 100th anniversary, in a moment. Perot in the chair calls the women to play, and we already have one interesting development. Majoli won the toss and elected to receive. So Hingis will serve to open this championship match.
Very good choice for Eva, because she's going to really go right at it, right at that second serve. If Hingis has a weakness, it is that second serve. It's powder puff.
Good exchange, won by Majoli, love 30.
Important to get off to a good start. Eva Majoli, as she comes into the net, she's not a natural volleyer. This is not a natural stroke for her, but she's taking the initiative right from the start.
Caught the line. Not that time. 15-30.
From behind the baseline, a very low percentage shot, but she has such great feel for the ball. Martina Hingis behind the baseline here. Majoli is a good mover, but nothing special. That's a good play.
A good forehand reply of the serve of Hingis by Majoli to earn a break point. serve caught the service line and skidded on Majoli.
Martina Hingis, not known as a quick starter. She almost plays as hard as she has to in the beginning. You know, she assesses the situation, and she looks to see the weaknesses, the strengths. She almost plays as hard as she has to.
Denies Majoli a break point. We're underway for the French Championship in sunny Paris. The precocious Martina Hingis at 16, she won the junior championship here at age 12, the youngest ever to do that, and this is what she's done since her 16th birthday. Losing only 3 of 59 matches, she's won 8 singles titles, and the Grand Slam to start this year in Australia. And there's the driving force, Melanie Molitor, her mother and coach, and a good friend.
Good friend, very low-key, stays in the background, lets Martina have all the attention. Really devoted her life to Martina.
Hingis had thoughts of coming to the net and retreated. 15 love. Melanie Molitor was a contemporary of Martina Navratilova, a tennis player in her youth in Czechoslovakia, and that was her favorite player, and thus named her daughter after the famed tennis star Navratilova. 15 all.
Always idolized Martina, but funny enough, Hingis's game really is not very much like Navratilova. It's sort of a combination of a lot of players.
You're being modest. Many compare her first to your game, thoughtful and such pinpoint accuracy, and so stable mentally and emotionally.
With more weapons. I think it's a good assessment.
Well, for Majoli, who, if anyone has the jitters today, I figure that she's the one. She seems more prone to emotions. Needs not to lose her first service game. Caught the line.
Oof. Well, Dick, I don't think people realize how tough it is to come out here and play your first Grand Slam title. I mean, very few players have actually won when they've been in the finals for the first time. My first time I played Margaret Court in the finals, was up 5-3 in the third, choked the match away because of nerves, because of the occasion.
All of a sudden, you're looking at the red clay and saying, this isn't Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to win a Grand Slam. A point for 1-all for Majoli.
I think game-wise, there's no comparison between the two players. I mean, Martina has more shots, more variety, more weapons, but her biggest danger really is to become overconfident and walking out on this court thinking that she already has the title because she's not playing a top seed.
It's 1-all. Iva Majoli from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. There's Nick Bollettieri, lower left. Migrated to the U.S., where she trained since age 12 at the Bollettieri Academy.
Drago, her brother. Her father, Stanko's not here, but Drago and Stanko are actually her coaches. And she gets a lot of good advice from Nick, but she owes a lot and gives a lot of credit to Drago. And really, to win this match, she has to go for those shots, but she has to make them. She has to really play above her head a little bit, play more aggressively, take more chances. And if the balls are falling in, she has a good shot at it. But if they're not, she doesn't have a chance at all.
Hingis strikes the ball so well on the move. There it is, second best start ever for a woman. Graf opened up 45-0 a few years ago, 6 titles, including the Grand Slam in Melbourne.
I think her rise really started last summer. U.S. Open, she reached the semifinals. Then she reached the finals of the Chase Manhattan Championships, which is the year-end. Went, if you remember, 5 sets with Steffi Graf, won the Australian, won all these tournaments.
And this is her first competition since the horseback injury that required arthroscopic surgery on that left knee. So she's played herself back into shape in this Grand Slam.
I also think playing doubles. You know, she reached the semifinals with doubles, lost with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, a real tight match, 11-9 the third. There you see the knee. Hasn't bothered her at all this tournament. She's taking care of it. She's icing it. She's getting ultrasound. She's taking good care of it before and after the matches.
Game to Hingis, the round serve 2-1. Opening set for the 1997 French Open Championship.
Nike presents From the Baseline.
Jackie Robinson, great baseball player. I saw him steal home once, and I love these celebrations of his 50th anniversary of hurdling the baseball color line. But we should not forget there was a color line in tennis, too. And the pioneer there who snapped it was Althea Gibson in 1950. 6 years later, she came to Paris to win the French, the first black to take a major title. She's been ill, but I've talked to her. She's coming along well and hopes to be at the U.S. Open, and we all hope to see you there, Althea. Well, I'm eating crow, but at least the French do it well. Crow bourguignon. Why? Last weekend, I told you Steffi Graf was #1 no matter what. She's been beaten. But last year, Steffi Graf looked as bad in the Italian Open. She'd lost all confidence. She bounced back to win the French and Wimbledon. 1991, she was murdered by Arantxa Sanchez Vicario here at Roland Garros. Again, confidence gone. She found it and won Wimbledon. So don't sell your Steffi Graf stocks yet. I'm not.
I've been playing only one match my entire life. And it's late in the 4th set. And I'm feeling strong. And my opponent, history, is looking over at me, wondering what to do.
Head in the Family Circle Cup. And Bud Collins wondered, since that threatened her career, as she considered leaving her horse Montana in the stable.
Can't put the horses I have at home just into a corner and say, I don't love you anymore. I can't go riding anymore. That's nothing for me. I always need the challenge to have, not besides tennis, yeah.
Maybe you need a seatbelt.
Oh, maybe next time. That would be a really good idea.
Yeah, the rest of the women on tour would like to put her in a seatbelt, a harness, and a straitjacket, the way she's devouring all the competition.
She really has a zest for life. I've never seen a #1 player enjoy being #1 and what goes along with it more than Martina Hingis.
Yeah, her attitude belies the years.
One of the characteristics of Martina Hingis is cockiness. And this week, after her match with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, somebody asked her how she played, and she goes, "Oh, I played so well I could have beaten her with left-handed." And things like, and she's in the press conference, she says, I should dictate my schedule because I'm #1 in the world.
Oh, there is a foot fault call, and that's the first we've seen, men or women or doubles, the entire championship, and it comes in the finals. That's just as overlooked here at the Terre-Battue until now, and it creates a double fault.
That's her timing off. This is her weak point, really, her serve. You know, when she loses a little confidence, her head comes down and her elbow comes down, and she really doesn't go up for the ball and get her body into it.
Well, there's no question she foot faulted, but for the history of this 2 weeks, for it to come in the first set of the women's final seems a bit cruel. Ooh, she doesn't miss many of those. That was for a double break point.
But this is still where she's great because she's looking ahead 2 shots. Her goal is to come into the net and end the point, and she's trying to figure out a way to do it. That's called court sense, and she has it better than anyone. Really, the only chance that even Majoli has is to dictate the point and to be the aggressor. She does not want to be on the defensive with Martina Hingis.
That's that inside-out forehand that opened the court that you talked about.
But she's deadly on both sides, you know, which is intimidating. That's why I think we're going to see a few drop shots. I think Martina Hingis is going to try to bring her up to the net. It's very uncomfortable for her up there.
Well, she survived that double fault and holds at 2-all. We talked about the youngest, and now the fastest to start a season. Steffi Graf ripping through 45 straight matches in 1987. That was a year before her Grand Slam year. And Hingis now second best. Martina, Chris Evert, and the others fall behind.
The only blemish I see to Martina Hingis' record is that she hasn't beaten and she hasn't played Steffi Graf since her streak. And if you call that a blemish, you know, Steffi still, whether you like her or not, was the reigning #1 player before Martina. And I think her chief competitor.
And because of the injury to Graf, that opened it up for Hingis to take that #1 spot.
Slip in there.
Oh, love 30.
Martina Hingis on the defensive. Can Majoli keep this up, though? Dictate the points. It's a very hard task.
Oh!
If she hits shots like that, she can do it.
And with that big forehand, 3 break points.
Oh, that was a first serve.
One of them erased.
Good player against a player who opens up the court on that side because Eva really likes to run around that backhand. She leaves that forehand side open.
Oh, what a series of backhands from the #1 player in the world.
Well, Martina had Eva on a string this whole point. Martina isn't even moving a step. She's right in the middle of the court the whole time.
Still a chance to break for Majoli. Now that illustrated Hingis' ability to defend the court.
Also, Eva's reluctance to come to the net. She could have ended that point 3 times, I counted, in that rally. She was in the midcourt, had Martina Hingis on the defensive, and just didn't want to come in. Just doesn't have that confidence.
So she's dug out of love 40 to deuce. Luck of the net cord, and the 4th break point for Eva Majoli.
And she has to try to end the point right there in that second serve. Don't get into a rally. Just go for the winner, whether it's down the line or cross court.
Four chances gone. Took a little off. Majoli changed the pace of that point, and it worked. And a 5th break point.
Martina really not taking this match as seriously as I thought she would. That's the one danger is really complacence, because she's had such big wins, big matches. Anya Kournikova, Monica Seles. I think she'll be doing this more often. I think we're going to see the drop shot, and we're going to be seeing Martina Hingis coming into the net. Those 2 factors.
It's wide. Hingis didn't think so, and so umpire Perot will come out to examine the call and concurs. Break point Majoli.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Majoli.
Number 6 in this game for the 19-year-old Majoli.
But, you know, when she's down, she takes her game to a higher level. We've seen this so much this tournament. When we've thought she's been down and out, and she comes up with these big shots, that's confidence. It's really getting mad at herself, too. I think she plays better.
It's all the qualities emotionally you wouldn't expect from someone so young.
But you see it in champions. Steffi Graf is a big example of that. When she gets angry, she plays better.
Oh, it's been a struggle. 6 break points against her serve. Finally, a game point for Hingis.
I just sense that if Hingis wins this game, after all those being down those break points, she's going to run away with this first set. So Eva really has to try to scrap her way out, not make errors, but still be aggressive.
5th deuce of the game, and a second serve for Majoli. Oh. And this time, net cord goes to Hingis. Oh, Hingis denies 6 breakers. It's 3-2 on serve in the opening set. Welcome back. Martina Hingis holding her serve despite 6 break points. And while she recognizes her opponent's talent before this match, she obviously showed confidence of a win today.
I played her a couple times also on clay court, and I mean, I have a pretty good chance against her. I beat her like 2 or 3 times already, and she's just a great player, and we know each other so well because we are both pretty young, and we're making the finals, so that's already great.
She must have been referring to the junior days beating Majoli on clay, because their 3 matches as professionals have all come indoors on the carpet. Hingis winning 2 and losing their first meeting a couple years ago.
Well, she's come up with some cocky statements, as I was alluding to earlier, and I haven't talked to her all year, Dick, so I wanted a chance to talk to her to see for myself what kind of person this young girl was. The first thing she does when I see her is, "Can I see a picture of your boys?" Whipped out the pictures and said to me, "This is really what it's all about, isn't it?" And I was just astounded. I thought it's a pretty mature statement coming from a 16-year-old, and I walked away after this conversation thinking she was just the most delightful thing. You know, she just is very honest, very open, wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's great for the game.
Forehand winner again from Majoli, and using her best weapon for 30-15. A point from 3-all. And Majoli holds at 3-all. A reminder, throughout the NBA Finals, the Bulls lead now 2-1. Our own NBA on NBC analyst Steve Cybersnapper Jones will be analyzing the games live online on NBCSports.com. Join Steve. He'll give you the answers to all your questions. Game 4 tomorrow night on NBC.
Oof.
We have 28-8 her record, singles matches as a Grand Slam competitor, winning the Australian Open earlier this year, and was the doubles champion both at Wimbledon last year, and won the doubles with the singles title in Melbourne.
I think she could follow in the footsteps of her namesake, Martina, in the sense that she's winning doubles. There's no reason why she can't win mixed doubles. Martina, however, has 55 Grand Slam titles. She has a little ways to go to catch her. Margaret Court was 62.
Now, she lost her doubles yesterday to Gigi, Fernandez and Zvereva. She's partnered with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. It's her first Grand Slam loss this year. She's 23-1 in Grand Slam matches, singles and doubles, coming into this final.
I think you're going to see here, Martina Hingis, this is what makes her great. She's going to switch gears. She's been a little complacent up until this point, but she's going to start to turn it on.
Painted the line.
I think it's tough for her because look at the players that she's beaten. She's beaten some. Anya Kournikova was a real pressure match, the 15-year-old, the first time she played someone younger. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, that was a huge win for her. Monica Seles, and now she's playing a player that she respects but is not a big name. It's hard for her to get psyched up so far.
And Majoli's big forehand earns her another break point. 7 chances thus far swiped away by Hingis. Is the 8th the charm?
Eva taking her time. She probably has some maybe clay in her eyes at this point. Good time to stall, though. good disguise. I mean, she could have gone cross court or inside out. It's hard to tell the direction of the ball.
She missed it.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Hingis.
Good depth by both players, but Majoli long on this forehand. Well, those 8 break-point opportunities for Majoli. That's like an NFL team inside the red zone 8 times and come away without a score. Good news is you're penetrating, you're close to scoring, but come away empty. Is that good or is that bad for Majoli?
I think Eva has a sense that Martina is not on top of her game. She is making a few errors. Ooh.
First double fault.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Majoli.
Number 9, the break point for Majoli.
You know, her energy level at this point, her enthusiasm looks a little bit low. Eva really needs to jump on her right now.
And she has broken to take the lead. The underdog Majoli, 4-3, opening set.
This is
the women's championship trophy, the Coupe Suzanne Lenglen. Lenglen, the great French player who won this event 6 times, 4 when it was only for the French, and 2 after 1925 when it became truly an open. And here's the woman who holds the all-time record, 7 championships, men and women, part of the ceremonies prior to the finals match today. The colors of France and the balloons are released as they celebrated those able to attend, past champions, and Chris in the honored position of being the final champion introduced. And one that's not here is Pat Dodge. She's in Rancho Santa Fe, California. She won 50 years ago. Pat told us that she wanted to come to France, but just couldn't take the travel. But she plays every day, plays a solid doubles game yet. I know she's watching. And Majoli with a 4-3 lead.
It's very apropos the 100th year, because this year it's been the women. The women have been the stories, the new faces, the comeback stories, the injuries. It's just been a very interesting women's tournament.
And the depth of the women's game reflected in the fact here's Majoli, the 9th seed, battling with the number 1 and with the lead. In fact, the Wimbledon seeding committee is going to have an interesting choice as to how they seed the All England Championships. Do they put the defending champion Graf, number 1, as the top grass court player?
I think
for
you have
Hingis?
to go with the Corel WTA ranking, and Wimbledon's been pretty good about that. But Steffi's won it 7 times. I cannot see. She won it 7 times, but she also is ranked number 3 in the world right now.
30 love from Majoli.
I mean, there's no question that Martina Hingis will be seeded 1, that's for sure.
The question is, will Graf be seeded 2 ahead of Monica Seles, who is now the number 2 after her play here in France? Majoli, by the way, with her terrific performance in this championship, has moved to number 5 in the world. Big serve. Caught the line for 40 love.
Dick, I have to say, most of the time they do go with the Corel WTA ranking, but I have to agree with you in the fact that I would be very surprised if Steffi Graf was seeded 3 in that tournament. Because also, not only she's dominated, but Monica has really done nothing at Wimbledon on the grass.
Majoli, a very impressive service game, finishes with an ace as she holds it love and a 5-3 lead.
There's her Grand Slam record, going for a big number 30 against Hingis today. Her best previous Grand Slam effort, quarterfinals here the last 2 years.
Well, this is the first time I saw her. 93 French Open, playing Steffi Graf on court number 1. She lost 7-6, 6-4, but everybody was talking about her.
Hingis showing a little anger with a double fault her second. Not the wind that we've seen in the fortnight in Paris, primarily coming from the far court toward Majoli. Today, the wind more out of the south, and that took that lob long.
See what she does here with this weak second serve. A good opportunity to go for a winner right from the start.
Oh, showing some true accuracy.
And finally, Eva coming into the net. That was such a great shot to follow it into the net. And when Martina Hingis gets down, she goes to another level, but sometimes when she misses the ball, it does look like she's tanking.
Hingis to the net.
Very much like her match against Barbara Polisic. She lost. I mean, how many times do you see a number 1 player loses that 6-love? Not many times. A lot of experts thought she did tank that. Came right back, though, and won the third very easily.
6-love in the third. That's wide for a game point for Hingis, and Majoli still just 2 points from the set.
Not her shot.
Mademoiselle Majoli mène 5-4.
5-4 Majoli. She'll be serving for the opening set. But after we pause for this break, first, time for a tennis tip.
Tennis Tips, presented by Visa.
Our subject today, the two-handed backhand. What better teacher than Chris Everett?
Well, the benefits of the two-handed backhand are pretty obvious in that you get more power, more accuracy, and better disguise than with one hand. But you still have to think of technique. So it's important to hit through the ball, extending out towards your target, low to high. That will put the necessary topspin to keep the ball in the court. Remember to keep the stroke compact, watch the ball, and go for your target. And this stroke can certainly be your best weapon.
At 5-4, she went to the quarters the last 2 years, and 2 years ago, while her opponent took a bathroom break, she said, well, I'm not going to just sit here, and invited a ball boy to hit up with her. And this really won the favor of the French fans, and many of them have not forgotten it.
The crowd went nuts. Her opponent was Mary Pierce at that time. So the crowd, really, the loyalty switched. As soon as Mary came back, she's saying, hey, where are my people? They're not rooting for me anymore. She didn't know what happened. Eva went on to win this match. It was an upset. That's the best French Open she's had.
The match over the ball boy or over Mary Pierce?
She beat Mary Pierce.
She won them both, huh? So she serves for the set. And opens with an ace. Her second. Well, she has been the better player in this opening set.
The juices aren't flowing yet with Martina Hingis. I'm still anticipating her really raising her game to another level like she showed us so many times this week. Ooh.
30 love.
You know, and I really don't think Eva fears Martina Hingis. I think if she's going to fear anything, it's being in the final of a Grand Slam event. As you see, Nick Bollettieri, who's helped her so much with inspiration, her brother Drago. shot in her semifinal against Monica Sells. Just feathers this ball, just threads the needle, and with such soft hands, good touch. And that's really showing the finesse that we talk so much about.
30-15. And Wynn will take that for 30-all.
Really
2 points critical here. 2 to win the set, 2 to break and draw even.
It's a bad mistake, too. I mean, you don't hit a shot like that when you have a chance to win the first set in a Grand Slam final.
There's a late call, but a proper one.
Once again, had so many opportunities to come to the net, and if you don't like the volley, at least come in and hit a swinging volley. She was very lucky to win this point because, boy, she had so many opportunities earlier.
We've talked about her forehand. Her backhand earned her court position and had Hingis on the run in that point and the first set point.
Eva Majoli, the number 9 seed, 6-4 in the opening set.
Well, this 97 French Open Championship has been one certainly of upsets, surprises, underdogs, especially on the men's side. Is it epidemic carrying over to the women's final? Majoli has the set 6-4. Hingis serves to open the second.
Mistimed that ball by yards. The smile's gone right now. And that's an example, really, what Eva needs to do when she has Martina off guard or out of the court. That area of Martina Hingis' game is much superior. Almost looks lackadaisical when she hits it. A desperation shot when you're behind the baseline like that. Not a high percentage shot at all, but it worked for her. Getting her off the court, showing a little finesse herself. Not really known as a finesse player, mainly a power player, so this is not in her usual repertoire of shots.
It's long and a break point to open the second set for Majoli. Oh, she is stretching the number 1 player sideline to sideline.
Nothing seems to be working for her right now. Oh, that would have been a great shot. Weak second serve. Go for the winner. Yep. Set in 1-love. She would have been in a great position.
And another breaker.
Technically a little shaky on that forehand side this whole tournament. When she hits it late, she catches it late, she has an open stance. Not good technical stroke.
A couple of second serves with a break point on a racket, and Majoli unable to get the ball in play. And the coaching staff in that front row.
It's okay, Nick said. It's okay.
Court's open.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Majoli.
It's the line.
That was a very close one. Pretty flat forehand. Doesn't have a lot of topspin on this shot. How many chances is Martina Hingis going to give her this game?
At this point, each woman with 20 unforced errors.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Hingis.
Yeah, Majoli certainly has gotten through the nerves portion of this final and striking the ball convincingly from both wings.
But this is an inexperienced game because she's been a little sloppy this game, and every player knows how important the first game in a set is.
And Hingis holds.
Majoli had 3 more chances to break. And Eva Majoli owns the opening set.
Set statistics.
Well, same amount of unforced errors, but winners, you know, Majoli's 2 ahead. But that shows the evenness of the match. Break chances, wow, 1 in 9.
Now 1 in 12 after 3 chances to open the second set. Love 1.
S'il vous plaît, les joueurs sont prêts. Merci. S'il vous plaît.
Not a great volley, but very effective, and she needs to force herself to come in.
15-0.
Technically not a sound volley, but even if she swings at it like a ground stroke, I think she can win the point.
Another good serve placement.
Martina Hingis has shown us in the past, though, when she is losing, that she does go to plan B. She can be flexible. Let's see if she does that here. She's done it in every other match. Really getting her off the court. A sharp angle there, opening up the whole court.
Very impressive service game for Eva Majoli. 1-all in the second. Well, it's game 4, the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow night. NBA Showtime starts things at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. And Karl Malone and the Jazz host Michael Jordan and the Bulls in Salt Lake City. It all starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific here on NBC. 1 o'clock Paris time. 1 to 4. Kind of take a little nap and then after the men's final tomorrow and catch game 4. Now this time Hingis dictating the point.
15-0.
Very much a pattern. Who's ever dictating the point 90% of the time wins that point. So it's almost like from the first shot you have to be aggressive. She has a chance at another second serve here. Really moving the ball around the court beautifully. We expect Martina Hingis to be doing that. Martina on the defensive.
This match mindful 4 years ago when a similar underdog, Mary Jo Fernandez, won the opening set against Steffi Graf, putting pressure on Graf, who then went on to win 6-2, 6-4. And the pressure now seems to be building against Hingis.
This is very much a mental match for Martina Hingis. There's nothing technically wrong with her game so far. It's just, I think she just had such an emotional match against Monica Seles. That was the biggest win that she's had in a Grand Slam event this year. As Monica had won this tournament 3 times. And now to come out here 2 days later and to play against a player that she doesn't have as much respect for her, it's tough. Martina doesn't have power? What is that? Thank you to playing doubles a lot because she gets a lot of practice on the overheads, the volleys, serving and coming to the net. It's really helped her to become an all-court player.
Well, she's shown that backhand is a good friend for her today. Not many mistakes, and she's created some big winners. Double fall to deuce. Her third.
Avantage à Majoli.
She's going to win this tournament. She has to be making those shots. Those are the easiest shots in the whole match, those second serves.
So Hingis holds its 2-1 in the second. The 9th seed, Eva Majoli, won the opening set 6-4.
1997 French Open is brought to you by Perrier, the Earth's first soft drink. Nothing else feels so Perrier. By Lucent Technologies, We make the things that make communications work. By the Principal Financial Group. For over a century, your edge in retirement, insurance, and investment products. And by the new Steel. Feel the strength.
On serve in the second here in Paris, with Majoli winning the opening set 6-4, while Hingis confident, if not cocky, before the match today. Majoli, as so many, has a high regard for her number one opponent.
I still can't believe I'm in the finals. You know, it's always been my favorite tournament. I've been always watching on TV since I was little, and I said, oh, maybe one day I play in the finals, you know, and you know, my dream came true, I guess.
Dream has come true, and you could hear her breathing. She's been battling a virus all this week as well, and has served very well. Only 8 points lost on serve in the match.
Well, it's great that she just didn't walk out on the court, just happy to be there, you know, reach the finals and no expectations. I mean, it looks to me like she really believes that she can win this match, and very few people in the crowd are believers.
Yeah, she hasn't given Hingis any hope yet of a break point.
Martina, you can see it in her face. She's trying to figure out, what can I do? What can I change in my game? Why am I losing?
Well, you've pointed out before, that's one of her strengths. She will adjust. She will change her strategy.
Well, she'll start playing more aggressively, and we'll be seeing a little more variety. Drop shots, coming to the net.
Can't do that, though.
That's the weaker side, though, that forehand side. She tried to run around that backhand, got a little too close, and hit the ball a little too flat. One of the first times we've seen her off balance. And I think she sees that as soon as she sees Majoli off the court or on the run, and Majoli's now starting to spray a few balls. It has to be encouraging for Martina Hingis to see that. Both players using the whole court. Martina Hingis once again trying that drop shot too far back behind the baseline. It's a good play, but you really should be inside the baseline to hit that shot.
And a point for 2-all for Eva Majoli.
Two games all in the second set. And we talked about the youth of Martina Hingis, the #1 player in the world, women 16 and under. Lottie Dodd, back when it was just a little
local championship in the village of Wimbledon in '87, the youngest ever singles. Hingis, with her win in Australia earlier this year, the youngest of this century when truly open play. So,
well, the last two, Tracy and Maureen, their careers were really cut short by injuries. And Maureen Conley, her career ended by, guess what, being thrown off a horse. How apropos.
And Hingis very fortunate that her injury was not more serious.
Monica Seles was the next name on that list, and thank heaven she's come back after her stabbing.
Fourth double fault for Hingis. And Eva Majoli continues her high level of play. Low 30.
0-3.
Big question, though. Can she keep it up? She just has to play the ball, forget where she is, forget who she's playing, and just play some tennis.
She seems to be doing just that. A little unlucky on that net cord. She had that headed for a possible winner.
Martina Hingis, on the other hand, still not pumped up. She has to get herself out of this rut. Champions win matches even when they're not playing well, and we'll see if that's the case here.
Majoli seizing every opportunity, and two more break points.
Very reliable forehand. I mean, we always know that that's her best shot. She hits more winners, but she's made very few errors on that side. Oof. Martina Hingis loves pace, so if you're going to hit hard to her, at least move her out of her power zone, move her off the court. But anything right to her, she loves it, she craves it.
13th break point opportunity for Majoli.
Broken to take the lead in the second set. Up a set, up a break. Is this the end of the incredible run for the #1 player, Martina Hingis? The championship is Majoli's if she can hold. Welcome back, and at this critical juncture, Martina Hingis elected to take a bathroom break, and the derisive whistles aimed at her from the French fans. Eva Majoli with a set lead, and now up a break. 3-2 serving in the second. And let's look at 12 forehand winners and 8 backhand winners, Chris. And I think that backhand success has surprised her opponent.
Well, she hits more winners off her forehand. I mean, once she sets up, her feet are in position, it's really a hard shot to read. But to have backhand winners as well, it's hard to get a ball past her the way she's playing this match. And it's easy to say that Martina Hingis should be hitting more drop shots, but Majoli's been hitting with such depth, it's really hard to get a play on a drop shot. But any mid-court ball, I think you're going to be seeing more drop shots, and you're going to be seeing a more aggressive Martina Hingis. But you have to choose the right shot to drop shot. And that one was a little bit too high. Again, it's behind the baseline, which is really not smart tennis, but the ball was so high she had to play to put that ball away. And she moves well. I mean, she's not a sprinter like a Steffi Graf, but she does move pretty well. Oof.
Her second double fault.
Well, that's the first stroke that will go off. It's interesting to watch as Martina Hingis threw her racket at that point.
That's a warning given by cheer umpire Francois Perot. Hingis unhappy with herself. She nets this forehand.
She meant to bounce that racket, but it flew behind her. Oh, yeah. Just not a usual sight to see Martina Hingis just struggling, running side to side, being pulled from corner to corners.
Eva Majoli will not relent, fighting through each point, keeping her favorite opponent on the run. A 4-2 lead in the second. One of the interested spectators, the president of the International Olympic Committee, Juan Antonio Samaranch, up from Barcelona, or from Switzerland, the IOC headquarters, Geneva. 2 points from the championship, Majoli, and the pressure now all on Hingis.
Well, I am stunned at the way Majoli is playing, but very often, Dick, you know, when you're match tough and you have a lot of tough matches coming into the final, that can only work in a positive way. And that match with Davenport down a set for love, once she got out of trouble there, I think it just gave her tremendous confidence. And this is really one of the poorest performances I've seen with Martina Hingis. For whatever reason, I hope it's not physical, but she's just very flat and no fire in those eyes today.
Yeah, Majoli has extinguished all that fire. She's just outplayed her opponent and now is only 5 points from the title. 3 more break points. And she breaks Hingis at love and will serve for the French Open title when we return.
The 1997 French Open is brought to you by Velo by Philips Magnavox, the power of a computer in the palm of your hand. By the 62,000 professionals at Delta Airlines. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant for long-lasting odor protection. Now you've got proof, not promises.
The tremendous run here in 1997 of Martina Hingis is 1 game away from ending, and she now is called on one of the WTA trainers working on that left thigh. Bud Collins, do you have a report?
Well, I have a report. It's not much help. I just talked to Melanie Hingis. She said she's totally unaware of any problem. When Martina did take a bathroom break, and I'll ask her after the match if there was anything to that. The mother also left, but of course she cannot enter the locker room. A coach is not allowed to give any advice or have any contact with the player in the locker room, and a break is taken. So it appears that she may have some cramping in her left thighs in that long match, 2 hours and 18 minutes, against Monica Seles in the semifinals. When Martina came off the court, she said she was on the verge of cramps, and she didn't want to sit down. She'd really felt punished. That's the left side there, which she's been working out, and it could be a little weakness. I talked to her about the operation. She said she feels no pain, but there's still, when you have surgery, a certain wariness when you come back so quickly. And I don't know if that was in the back of her mind, but she better pull it together now, of course.
And the fans certainly have rallied around Majoli. It began first with the fact that they, like so many of us, love the underdog. Two, when Hingis took a bathroom break a couple of games ago after she was broken and a substantial amount of time, and the fans thought perhaps there was a delay involved there trying to make the 9th seed Majoli think a bit too much about the lead. And now, 2 games later, a trainer's break to attend to that injury, and Majoli unable to sit on her side. She's out taking a few extra warm-up serves.
Well, and we forget, I mean, she had 7 weeks off, so she really couldn't train at that point. And Bud was talking about that long match herself. Then she had to come back yesterday and play a doubles match, which she lost 11-9 in the 3rd, plus she practiced. It's a lot of tennis, especially after having an injury and being out of the game. The last 2 weeks, a lot of tennis, and she's 16 years old.
Yeah, I think there was one of the questions coming into Paris. Is she tournament tough, having had some training to make sure that that knee was okay, but not competitive play? And there's a big difference, isn't there?
And I don't think she really in a million years thought her streak would end in a match like this. I mean, I think, you know, against a Monica or a Mary Pierce or someone at that caliber, but Eva is playing unbelievable tennis. She's really risen to the occasion. No nerves at all.
Well, I would imagine, unless they're practicing, the Bulls' Tony Kukoc, Croatian, Dino Radja, Goran Ivanisevic, the young 15-year-old Irjana Lucic, all from Croatia, rooting for this woman to become the first ever Grand Slam winner from that country. One of the few wild forehands of the day.
Well, if Eva could use her head right now, you know, her tactic really should just stay out there, hit a lot of balls, and move Martina side to side. I mean, unfortunately, now everyone knows, as broadcasted, that, you know, she does have an injury, and it's hampering her movement. And it really must be hurting after a shot like that. That is not characteristically a normal shot for Martina Hingis. It really must be hurting.
And 2 points from victory is Eva Majoli.
This is the same injury she had at the Chase Manhattan Championships against Steffi Graf. Lost 5 sets, but she cramped in that match, too.
And now match point for Majoli. And what an amazing development. The Tirbat 2 has been the home of the underdog and the big surprises this year.
S'il vous plaît, les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
Majoli serving now with a championship on her racket.
Oof.
1 match point denied.
40
Anything in her power zone, she's going to still hit cleanly for a winner. She's going to go for her shots, but make her move a little bit.
Wind blowing some of the clay into the face of Majoli.
Sorry.
Eva Majoli of Croatia is the French Open champion. 6-4, 6-2. The second longest shot in the history of this Grand Slam event to win. You have to go back to 1933 when an unseeded player, Margaret Scriven of Great Britain, won it. The second longest shot of all is right there in your picture. Eva Majoli, congratulated by the #1 player, Hingis. Well beaten today. Injury or not, Majoli the superior performer. She lost only 14 points on her serve, did not allow a break point against, as she built an impressive 6-4, 6-2 victory. She now part of French Open history. Two years ago on center court, she hit with a young ball boy, as you saw. Her dreams of winning this, as she has indicated since she was a youngster watching on television, realized 2 years later on this Saturday in Paris, Eva Majoli is the champion. Her coach and brother, Nick Bollettieri, a very strong influence for many years as she trained at his academy in Florida, helped to celebrate, as so many will be stunned who came here 2 weeks ago. Who would have predicted Eva Majoli would be the champion of France? And we'll have a very special presentation of the trophy, as they have asked our partner Chris Evert to make that presentation, and this is the 100th anniversary of women's play in the French Open. That's all coming up. Let's first take this break. Eva Majoli, that brilliant smile, how well she played, is the champion of this '97 French Open. Chris Evert presenting her with the Coupe Suzanne Lenglen. Christian Beam, the president of the French Tennis Federation. Hail to Majoli. Great names accompany this victory. Suzanne Lenglen, Helen Wills Moody, Doris Hart, Mo Connolly, Althea Gibson, Margaret Court, Yvonne Goolagong, Billie Jean, Chris, Martina, Graf, Celis, and now Majoli, the second longest shot ever to win the French Open Championship. And now the runner-up, and she's certainly not accustomed to being cast in this role, Martina Hingis. Well, awkward moment now as to what do we do next. Teenagers, Majoli 19, Hingis 16. I certainly expect to see much more from them in the major events in the years to come. How wonderful it is in sport that you can't predict. Great writer Red Smith once said and wrote in 3 words paragraphs when he said, "Truth strangles fiction." And we've seen it again. Sometimes you just can't write scripts this good. A shocking upset engineered by Eva Majoli, and we'll get the reaction of both players when we return. At 19, the French Open champion, the first Croatian to ever win a Grand Slam event. And Eva Majoli has ended Martina Hingis' string. The #1 player is with Bud Collins.
Thanks, Dick. Martina, nobody goes a whole season undefeated. Your namesake, Martina Navratilova, lost her only match in 1983 on this court. But you've had a wonderful season thus far, 40-1. You took a bathroom break. You took an injury timeout. Were you hurt?
No, I mean, it's just 2 weeks long, this tournament, and I'm kind of at the end of my power, and Eva, she just let me run all the time, and I just got a little tired to the end, but I mean, she just played an unbelievable match. It wasn't just because I was injured or something. She just played a great match.
What did she do that bothered you? Was it the backhand?
No, she just played without any mistakes. She just let me run all the time, and she played very aggressive. She served a lot better than me, and
She's the champ.
She just really at this tournament, she's the champ.
Well, thank you. We'll be seeing you at Wimbledon. Martina Hingis, still number one. And where is Eva Majoli? Here she comes right now, I think. She's working her way over with Rachel Gerstein. And, well, when you're champion, you can do anything you want. I thought we had her in our clutches, and suddenly she saw somebody else. Here she comes now. She wants to put on a warm-up jacket. The only Croatian champion, Dobro. Eva Majoli. They will write tomorrow. This was a big upset, the biggest upset of the Open era here. Was it an upset to you?
Well, I didn't think about it this way. You know, I really had a great tournament. I came to this final with a lot of confidence, and I knew Martina hasn't lost a match this year, so. But I also knew that was more pressure on her to win this one than on me, and I think today I just didn't give her a chance to play her game. I was really aggressive. I came to the net, I hit hard, you know, I was really focusing hard, and I think it was really big for me that I didn't think that this was the final of French Open, that I had a chance to win. I was really concentrating on each point, you know, playing point at a time till the end, and I think that's what helped.
You came off this court after that 2-hour and 22-minute victory over Amanda Kutcher. Your first words were, "I'm dead." You've revived.
Well, today I'm ready to party, so I'm not dead. And I'm not in a state, so I can party here. Either I'm not 21.
Was there a strategy? You seem to be working on her forehand a lot.
Well, it was my plan. You know, her backhand is really the best shot, and I think the best in a game. So my plan was just to keep her moving and put pressure on her serve, on her forehand especially, and be aggressive, play lots of forehand for myself, and try to serve, you know, concentrate on my serve. And today everything just worked, you know, I guess because this was my dream. This is the best tournament for me, always been the most special Grand Slam, and I guess, you know, God helped me a little bit today, and I just played a great match.
A great triumph for you and Croatia. Congratulations, your champion, Eva Majoli. Voila.
Ice the French champagne. She's ready to party tonight. Eva Majoli is the 1997 French Open champion, and is this going to be a continuation tomorrow of the underdogs winning a Grand Slam? Gustavo Kuerten, only number 66 in the world, will meet former champion Sergi Bruguera for the men's championship. A preview coming up.
Waterburn. It's a wondrous city and a wondrous day for Eva Majoli, the number 9 seed in the history of this event going back to 1925. One unseeded player has won, and Majoli is the longest shot other than that event. And it all happens in 1997, and John McEnroe, it may just well be that that was meant to be, that this city that provides so many wonderful surprises will have another on the men's side.
Well, everyone talked about Hingis, Graf, etc., and guess who wins the tournament? Majoli. So that could bode well for Kuerten tomorrow. No one's talked about
Well,
him.
you're the only one who picked Majoli and Kuerten, as I remember.
It's amazing. Thank you for bringing that up.
How about Gustavo Kuerten? You think you said yesterday you think he's got a legitimate chance to win?
He's got the talent. I'm picking him to win. I think he's got more talent. I don't think Bruguera's 100% back. I don't think his confidence is 100% back. When I talked to him yesterday, he admitted so. So if Kuerten is not too fatigued from those long 5-set matches, he's got a real shot tomorrow.
Well, Bruguera, who has tended to sacrifice the first set of every match and then rally to win the next 3, did just that yesterday. In dismissing Patrick Rafter, another unseeded player, the Australian gave him a fight. 2-1 as we pick up the action in the 4th set. Bruguera serving at 3-4.
Teenager who was playing in her French Open final. Boy, was she confident. Tied at 1 in that second set, but after going down a break in the set, Hingis goes to the bathroom, returns hoping to gain the edge she lost. Well, you know what? Didn't happen, didn't help. Majoli remained composed through it all. And she was aggressive, charging the net and gobbles it up. She would lead 4-2 in that second set, and Hingis couldn't even get it going, not even on her own serve. This was a second serve, and Majoli would crush it and go on to win the French Open, becoming the first Croatian to win a Grand Slam title. Eva Majoli shocking Martina in straight sets. Amazing, considering back in the 4th round of this event, she was down 1 set, love 4 in the second set to Lindsay Davenport. That match, that comeback, said Majoli, gave her the confidence to pull off the biggest win of her young career. She stops Hingis's WTA match win streak at 37. You can go 60s and call it Eve of Destruction, or the 70s with number 9 Dream. That's what it was for Majoli, who became the lowest seed in the Open era at number 9 to capture a women's Grand Slam crown. Her next goal, to win even 1 match at Wimbledon. Says Eva, I have a strategy. I'm going to eat grass. Good thing the alternative would get her in trouble.
All righty then.
Here's Hannah Storm.
National weeks of tennis drawing to a close here on this Sunday in Paris at Roland Garros as we welcome you back. And there's one thing certain about clay court tennis: it's going to produce some incredible points, long points. One learns to play with patience on the terre battue. One learns that to win, you have to think 2 or 3 shots ahead to develop a point and a possible winner. All of which is to say that we're now down to our crack NBC crew picking the top 5 shots or 5 points of this 2 weeks of French Open play. And here they are now. Number 5, Eva Majoli, the eventual champion, against her doubles partner, Ruxandra Dragomir, in the far court. Their quarterfinal match, 3 exhausting sets, nearly 3 hours of tennis. Majoli didn't win the point, but won the match, won the championship in the end, feigning collapse. She was joined by Dragomir, her friend, her doubles partner, one of the warmest moments of these 2 arduous weeks. Point number 4, Michael Chang and Sergi Bruguera in the 4th round. Invariably, Chang makes the top shot list. In the near court, he demonstrates his incredible quickness, his hustle and grit. In fact, Chang does define court coverage. Michael Chang, point number 4. Number 3, the semifinals, Amanda Kutzer and Eva Majoli. Kutzer in the near court, enjoying the best season of her career. She is the rabbit, a great defender. This becomes a clay court point to an extreme. 33 shots. Wouldn't you love to just be able to rally like this once in your life? Finally, Kutzer takes advantage, only to find Majoli running down her best bid, and from behind her back, a winner. Number 2, Kutzer again against Steffi Graf. Graf near court. The defending champion's nemesis is Kutzer. As we've already seen, Kutzer is the Michael Chang of women's tennis, unrelenting hustler, and it pays off in this point. Defensive lob. Keeps it in play. Keeps it in play. And now she is the aggressor. Amanda Kutzer one of the stars of this championship and now number one, Sergei Bruguera and Hisham Arasti, the gifted 23-year-old Moroccan. This point had a little of everything. Baseline hitting, drop shot, and a little softball. And how about this for a get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Between the legs, and Bruguera still there for the point. Oh my, the number one of our top 5 shots of this 97 French Open. Give me one of those exaggerated grips. Throw me a racket. Find me some red clay. I'm ready to go. And we'll return to Paris right after this. Man wins, and the 9th-seeded woman, Eva Majoli, the champion of France. And it was a topsy-turvy. If anything, you didn't want to be here this year was ranked number 1 because you didn't have a chance.
I tell you what, Eva, she's a real party girl, so she's probably at her 4th disco by now. I think she's having a good time celebrating. But I think if that win shows anything, it's that you don't necessarily have to be one of the best players in the world to win at Roland Garros, like the other Grand Slam tournaments, because it takes more than talent. It takes the intangibles. It takes heart. It takes guts. It takes maybe struggling through a few rounds. It takes belief in yourself, and Eva had all of those ingredients.
In comparing your years and winning 7 times here, was the level of competition as deep in your day as it is now?
No, but that's not a good question to ask me. You know, I think in any sport, the level goes up and up and up, and every 10 years, you know, certainly it goes to a higher level. The equipment's different, the training techniques are different, but one thing remains the same. It's who's the gutsier one, who's the more patient one.
All right, let's go to the women's doubles championship. That was played earlier. Mary Jo from Miami, Lisa Raymond played at the University of Florida. They're in the near court against the 5-time French champions Gigi Fernandez and Natasha Zvereva.
Well, definitely Natasha and Gigi are the more experienced team. They complement each other so well. Natasha setting up the point, Gigi really coming in for the kill, and she's the shot maker.
Gigi Fernandez and Zvereva won the first set 6-2.
Lisa Raymond showing some great one-handed backhands, a rare shot in today's game. Usually you see a lot of two-handed backhands.
Look at Gigi defensively. Gets one ball back, 2, 3.
Trying to hit through their opponents instead of maybe just trying to angle the ball off the court.
Raymond, and unsuccessfully, and Gigi Fernandez really held her team together on that point.
Here's Mary Jo, the more solid player. Look at that two-handed. It really drilled that shot.
And Gigi Fernandez, her doubles partner in the Olympics, winning the last 2 gold medals.
A lot of touch, Gigi Fernandez, a lot of finesse. This rally, they're using the whole court here.
Raymond.
Look at that one-handed backhand. She whipped it cross court for a winner. Lisa Raymond getting to the 4th round of singles, getting to the finals in the mix. I think who was the best doubles player on the court today, and you can see by that topspin lob on match point.
So Gigi Fernandez and Natasha Zvereva, that's their 14th Grand Slam doubles win. 6 times they've won in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And back with a look at Wimbledon, and John McEnroe with his final comments in just a moment.
His airness talks about getting on top and staying there. And the WNBA's Rebecca Lobo copes with her mother's battle against cancer. Watch NBA at the finals Sunday on NBC.
From our men's final, Gustavo Kuerten in the near court, Sergei Bruguera. A long rally, and like so many of those today, Kuerten always seemed to have one more shot than his more experienced opponent. We saw the brilliance of Kuerten throughout these 2 weeks. Very few low games, and his play at such a high level throughout. His straight set victory today. He had it all. In the point, out of the point, back in the point. So at one point, Kuerten, in case you missed it, showing why this is the champion of France. The Dean Witters shot of the day, authored by the champion Gustavo Kuerten. Well, the Eiffel Tower, very mindful of this great city, and the fact that this is our final night in 2 weeks, we head to London. Coming up in just 2 weeks on NBC, we shift from the red clay of Roland Garros to the verdant lawns of the All England Club for Wimbledon 1997. World number 1, Pete Sampras, the favorite again. His game built for this event as he aims for a 10th Grand Slam title. Will 92 champion Andre Agassi be a factor? Struggling now, but well aware of the magic that is Wimbledon. 12 years ago, he boomed into tennis history, a champion at just 17. Boris Becker eyes a 4th Wimbledon title. And a slew of heavy hitters are in the hunt. The most lethal, the defending champion, Richard Krajicek. Will 97 be the year for two-time runner-up Goran Ivanisevic? And we'll see the game's biggest server on grass, Mark Philippoussis of Australia. With the women, can world number 1 Martina Hingis rebound from her upset loss in Paris? Will it be a 3rd straight Grand Slam letdown for Steffi Graf, or will she win an 8th Wimbledon title? Monica Seles has 9 Grand Slam titles, but none at the most treasured tennis championship. Can serve and volley whiz Jana Novotná challenge the big 3? And how will Eva Majoli, the 19-year-old champion in France, respond after that surprising Grand Slam win? Will Wimbledon bring another underdog champion? Those answers and more, all coming up as tennis's most famous fortnight, Wimbledon. Join us for the preview show 2 weeks from today, and our daily coverage begins Saturday the 28th. And the man who won the Wimbledon title 3 times, well, will we have a surprise champion?
I don't know.
Well, you always have an opinion.
Well, I'll give you one then. I think on that surface, you'll see things go back more to normal. I think here at the French Open, you see more upsets in general, but there at Wimbledon, you're going to see the Samprases or possibly Philippoussis or a guy like Krajicek. I'd be really shocked to see a total unknown come and win that tournament.
So serve and volley, the attacking player, the quick points. What do we expect again at Wimbledon?
Although I'd like to see how Querten does there at Wimbledon. It'll be very interesting how his game translates.
And what he'll look like, the outfit, too. The costume.
He'll wear white.
How about for the women?
Well, I mean, Wimbledon is a whole new ball game, like John said. I think the best athletes usually win. I mean, Navratilova in the past, Graf, McEnroe.
Chris Evert.
Yeah, wonderful athlete. And I think that I have to favor Graf. I think she's mad. You know, she left here, she had a bad upset, and I think she is still the most dangerous grass court player. So look for her.
Well, if Hingis had won yesterday, we'd be talking about a possible Grand Slam, an unbeaten year. How about Hingis on
She's going to do great because she has variety. You know, she has good hands at the net, she has power from the baseline, and she's cocky. You know, you need that. She believes that she should never lose a match. And with the streak coming into this tournament, you know, and being number 1 in the world, plus the fact never winning at Wimbledon, I think she's got a good shot, but I still pick her off.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to our trip to the All England Club. That'll be 2 weeks from today for our Wimbledon preview show. And we'll be back in Paris right after this. Round coverage of the Bell South Senior Classic. And tonight, Game 4, the NBA Finals. Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz try to even the series with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls at 2 apiece. Tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Game 4 of the NBA Finals. And for Chris Evert, John McEnroe, and Bud Collins, I'm Dick Enberg. Thank you for being with us in this great city of art and history and romance. And we're reminded once again that to visit Paris is not only for now, but forever.
When
and Gustavo Kuerten. An international experience at Roland Garros in one of the world's greatest cities. Croatia and Brazil celebrate in 1997. And to all our French and English colleagues who have brought you the sounds and the sights from Paris and this French Open, merci beaucoup. Many thanks. We'll see you in London.
If you haven't seen